I'm here with Fabrizio Perilli from PERIFA. Mate, great to see you. Thanks for taking the time.
Mike, really nice to see you as well, and really appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.
So tell me a bit about the new development. How's it all going? Obviously, you've just put an application in for Putney.
Yeah.
Exciting times.
Yeah, very exciting times. So Putney is a fantastic project. It's one of those iconic projects you get to do every so often in your career, and it's Sydney Harbour waterfront. It's a 1.6 hectare site in a part of Sydney that's going to grow. Putney is a well-regarded suburb. It's been a sort of a hidden gem for many, many years. And the chance you get to redevelop a wharf building into 19 amazing apartments is quite unique. You don't get that chance many times in your life. And then you combine that with a really well laid out residential set of buildings and townhouses, a real mix of product with 36 marina berths. It's quite unique. So we're really excited by that project.
One of the things we always love is when we see this kind of like the mix of residential with some kind of retail commercial. And when you add the kind of marina berth component, it kind of adds something that's really unique to market. And that kind of integrated approaches, we find buyers on urban really appreciate that.
Yeah, I totally agree. So that real mixture is that we're really excited by the F&B precinct as well, combining with a little bit of retail and commercial that will go with it. But it has something for everybody. So if you're a boat lover or boat owner, you want to live on the waterfront, basically it's there. We hope the retail is going to become a real meeting place. So, you think about different types of groups that are doing fantastic things, those quality retailers, whether it's the boathouse or you got the grounds or you got the Daltone House type guys, Conditis and so forth. They're the types of operators we know will be fantastic for this sort of space, as are the Hinchcliffe House guys, just think about another name. I think it's a matter of establishing that retail precinct, the retail owner of that precinct, and then off that, people understand the quality and that's going to come there. And then I suppose the ability to sort of come in and out with the boats as well is, again, unique.
Yeah, it's very cool. And so the project's with Abadeen as well, am I right in thinking that? How did that kind of partnership come about?
Yeah, so Abadeen is our joint venture partner, and we've known each other now for many, many years, Justin and I. So it basically started about a year ago. In fact, he was actually part of a shortlisted process, and he had a chat with me in regards to the development. We're known here at PERIFA for being deliverers of product. I suppose the reputation over the many years that I've had, as well as the team of people that are here with me now. So it was a good mix of what Justin really brings to the table in his team, which is a real expertise in that sales, marketing, and sort of positioning a project, obviously as well as developing as well, and with ours in terms of that delivery. So you bring that delivery certainty with that whole sales and marketing certainty, and we both develop quality projects. The proposition to the consumer and to the purchaser, I think, is really clear.
We often talk about how development experience accounts for a lot. You've got PERIFA, which is a newer brand, but some of the people behind the development are kind of really experienced, well-known people within the development community here in Sydney.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, I've got about 30 years of experience in our industry. I've got Zach Hart, who's come from Mirvac at 21 years at Mirvac. Simon Gobbo, 17 years at Parkview. Fred Anderson, 13 years at Built. So, and then the existing development crew that's been here as well. So it's over 150 people here in the group today. But it's a real great mix of skill, experience, know-how, trusted relationships with our consultant base as well as subcontractor base. So you bring that all together in one house, and the idea is to get the best outcome in every situation.
So, when you kind of put the planning application through and when you're coming to get up with the kind of project strategy, and obviously working with Justin at Abadeen, who are the buyers that you have in mind for the development?
Yeah, so in this regard, the buyer pool is going to come from a market that is, say, in the proximity of Putney, that Hunters Hill, Gladesville sort of buyer. So coming back towards the east from Putney, it's a unique product. Also, it's probably the discerning buyer. The fact that we are a vertically integrated group, so we have PERIFA as our development vehicle, Versatile as our construction vehicle, and we're going through the iCert rating right now, which I've achieved for a previous business in the past. But basically, because of that vertically integrated model brings a lot of confidence to the buyer. They know what they're going to get. And so, we're putting a lot of work in right here, right now in regards to our schemes and making sure that they're buildable at the right price point, meeting the right quality, such that when we're specifying the stone, it is that stone they're getting, not a version of it, right? And that's really important. And it's very difficult to do if you're not in that vertically integrated model.
Yeah.
And that's probably sets us apart. And that's one of the visions that we had when we came out of Toga over a year ago now, was to basically make sure I really believe in that vertically integrated model. And I think it has a massive advantage as compared to the third-party model.
Yeah, I think sometimes what happens is you've got a developer where it's very customer focused. They really want to deliver on that initial vision for the project that works alongside the architect. Yeah. And obviously the developer, particularly if it's a fixed price contract, They look and execute the project. And sometimes those things can sometimes not have the exact same alignment. So I agree. When you have the vertically integrated approach where you've got everyone on the same team working towards the same outcome together, you can get a really great outcome for the customer. It's so good to hear that you're doing the iCert rating. Do you mind sharing a bit about what's the process? You obviously mentioned you've done it before. How's that process, and how do you think it kind of adds value to the buyer experience? Obviously, we're big fans of that at Urban as well.
Yeah, absolutely, a huge fan of it. So, but what the ISO rating has done is has basically brought a bit of diligence to the entities that are delivering projects. And what's important from that perspective is it always starts with the outcome, which is the consumer getting confidence in who they're dealing with, right? So there's been a lot of shadow organisations in the past that have delivered projects and they seem to close their businesses on completion. So again, if there's ever been problems on projects, there's no one to call. Whereas the ISO ratings basically puts a stamp on the fact that you are a quality organisation. You've got the necessary systems and processes and financial standing, and obviously delivery know-how and capability as well, and experience, which is really important. You're part of a panel, I suppose, that is verified by Equifax, which is an independent regulator. But it allows the building commissioner, who's done an amazing job really over a short period of time to weed out, say, the worst elements of our industry sector, and I suppose allow new players to come through, such as us as well, who have experience in other places. But it allows the consumer to, at an instant, take a view on a developer and a builder and say, yes, I trust that because it has gone through an independent process.
One of the things we really try to do is focus on showcasing what the developer's done previously. And while that's good and it's certainly got its place, I think the role that Equifax is playing in terms of who are the people behind the development, because as you mentioned before, PERIFA is a relatively new brand, but the people that are behind it have been around the market for a long time and have a good track record of delivering projects successfully. And so I think what Equifax is doing there, where they're really kind of doing that research, I think makes a lot of sense for the market, and buyers should be really kind of focusing on developers and building teams that have gone through the rigor of that process, and that can offset some of the uncertainty related to a newer brand, because you know that the homework's been done by that independent party.
Glad to hear you say that, actually, because it is true. Look, our industry is about people, right, who have got demonstrated knowledge, know-how, capability and experience. You're only as good as your teams. It's as simple as that, right? And then obviously it comes the systems and processes that must be there as well, and the diligence part. So making sure you've got those in place, and they are always evolving and improving, because things are happening quite fast in our industry and the world in general. There is an ability to always be a good developer and a good builder, relevant, because they're always up to date with what's going on and what is best practice. They always attract the right people with the right sort of attitude. Attitude is really important, culture is really important, but obviously experience and know-how is really important as well. And so, we're priding ourselves here in that we've actually got a lot of people that want to join us, which is fantastic. And so it means that we're doing something right. We've got a long way to go, but it's a step-by-step process. And the iCert rating is something that will be here for many, many years to come. It will provide validation. It will provide also confidence internally that what we're doing is the right thing as well. And our aim is ultimately to be a 5-star rated developer and builder. And that will take time, but we'll get there.
Well, Fabrizio, I appreciate you taking the time to catch up with me, mate. Congratulations on the launch of the new business, and best of luck for the project.
Thanks, Mike. Really appreciate your time. Thank you.